the days when American sentiment was calling for the extermination of all Indian people. That's from the 1800s. Yeah, that was the time period where white men were dressing up like Indians and raiding and white farmers and killing them and raping their women and then killing the women, raping the children, then killing the children, and they were saying the Indians did it. So this hit the media of the day, and then the media embellished it, and when they published it, American sentiment was calling for the extermination of all Indian people. Yeah, and you have this feminist, Susan B. Anthony, who was leading the leading the movement to get women to vote. You know, she was against slavery. You know, she's against oppression, but she also wanted all Indians to become exterminated, to be exterminated. You see, it's incredible. I think those attitudes have never gone away. I had hope. Yeah, in my growing up years, I had hope because I experienced different things. Yeah, I took the time to get to know people, and most of my experiences with people from other cultures have been really nice. But the like attracts like, so my guess is that I just ran into the right people, that they're like me too. But the majority are not this way. The majority have the tendency to dislike anybody that's different. Yeah, this reaction, is this becoming genetic now? Has it always been genetic to begin with? I don't think it's been genetic. Because when you look at Lakota Star Knowledge stories, and it talks about the beginning of this earth, and that humans appear in 5 areas, that during this time period, all the continents were one. It was just one giant continent. And it talks about these 5 groups of people interacting with each other, and they realize they have lots of things in common. And where the people settled on the earth, their bodies began to adapt to that area. This is when skin color enters the picture. This is where hair color, hair texture, eye color, that's where all that enters the picture. Our distance to the sun. That's what causes race. And as that group of people stays there, they develop common ideas, common beliefs, common interests, and a culture is born. But that's all on the exterior, yeah? That's all focusing on the exterior. And Lakota Star Knowledge says what's more important is the interior, because this is where our sacred center is. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, where your body, your mind, your emotions, and your soul all connect. Deep inside of you, that center area, that's your sacred center. That has no race, that has no language, yeah? Has no culture. This is what we all have in common. But our tendency seems to be to focus on the exterior and look at all the things that develop from that. Religion, yeah? Racism, paternalism, where you think you know what's right for everybody else and everybody just has to follow what you say. And ethnocentrism, when you say, this culture is less than mine, and if they were more like me, or if they were more like my culture, then they would be better. And you're judging other cultures by your cultural standards. That's ethnocentrism, which leads to racism. All this is duality. And the more we become like that, the more that we lower our self-esteem, the more we lower our self-worth, the more inferiority complexes we develop, the more emotionally insecure we become. and the less mentally and spiritually developed we become, then our bodies become sick. Because we're not focusing on the sacred center. We're not communicating from there. And we're headed in a rugged direction. Because you look all around the world and look at all the news that's hitting, that's being broadcast. Everything is because of religion, and because of race, because of culture, ethnocentrism, paternalism. It's look at what it's doing to the world. And that's all because we focus on the outside of ourselves. We all seem to have that tendency. Even if we say, oh, I'm just, please forgive me for what my ancestors did to your ancestors. See, that's low self-esteem talking. That's still a problem. That's not healthy to feel like that. Because you're only responsible for your actions. You're not responsible for your ancestors' actions. That's impossible. So, this is heading into. It's going to get worse, is what I'm saying. It's going to get worse. And just this morning, you see this headline on CNN that this ISIS has beheaded a U.S. journalist that it captured back in 2012. That's religion. That's duality. Yeah? Duality, fighting against duality, does not bring peace. Israel and Hamas, same thing. Yeah? It does not bring peace. The American Indian movement does not bring peace. No terrorist organization brings peace. So, it's up to us, yeah, for those of us who seek for peace. We have to throw off religion, because that's duality. Yeah, we have to throw off ethnocentrism, paternalism, dogma, that's religion, and racism. We have to focus on our sacred centers. And as long as there's one of us doing that, the world will be here. Yeah? So, keep that in mind, yeah? That's all I ask. I'm not asking for you to agree with me or anything like that. Yeah? I just ask that you think about these things and it's up to you, yeah? How you want to live your life, but how you communicate, that reveals the kind of person you are, and what you communicate as well. So, just think about it, yeah, that's all. And I thank you very kindly for taking time to tune in and listen to this show, because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed coming here and talking with you and, making my comments on the incidents that are happening in around the world. And we have to have hope. Yeah, we have to have hope. And I think when we live these star knowledge concepts of maintaining our sacred centers where reality begins, when we do that, we're creating hope. And we can influence that hope onto others by how we live. So let's do that. Yeah?